Good morning, folks. It's 12:15 a.m. on the 12th day, 3rd month, 2022. Right, I've got a few screens loaded up. And what I want you to see, a point I'm going to make straight away, is this is all the precipitable moisture in the world. That is in the upper atmosphere, in the atmosphere. If it could rain down all at once, this is what it would be. Right? That's a lot. So I can get a general idea where the water is in the world. Because they have to move these rivers using EMF blasts that you'll often see evidenced up here. If I can get this down low enough, I'll stop and show you. Well, there was a blast down in Antarctica just now. If I look over here, you'll look over here in this coordinate here between the 60 and the 90 east, and you'll see a flash. Boop. Just a light little flash, and it goes off. And off. Right? Yeah, I look for these little perturbations because that'll have an effect on moving cold air up into Australia that meets warm tropical air and then causes storms. Right? There's a lot of moisture here. This isn't like what's going on right now, what's raining down or anything. This is just what's there. And I use this a lot to see the beams. How are they influencing this river? This is the equator. Things rotate differently after you get outside about to here. Here it's a slow change between rotations of the Coriolis effect. But it's very visible in how the high pressure and low pressure react in different hemispheres. So I watch for these things. I'm watching for them to hit a beam. Actually, it's gonna, there it is. That's gonna walk that storm down for New Zealand. So I'm gonna go look straight at that since it's interesting me. You guys can watch me do a weather tour. So I'll go over to the Australia Fiji because I've identified a beam. It's coming up through here. I'll go with a little longer time span. Let's go 48 hours. See what's going on. Should be near the end. Right, here's my area of concern. Look how square this is, New Zealand. It's a trapezoid, actually. Look, see? Not a trapezoid, I mean a pentagram. Yeah, I went there. It's 5-sided. I'm going to look for some pops. Some of these lines you'll see won't be beams. Right, these satellites actually make a disturbance as they go by. And they splice the images together. It can be different by 90 minutes. But they're doing a bunch, but that is. That's lasted more than one pass. That's a big blast. Look at it influence this area here. So that should make rains happen here, Australia. Not here. Here. Sorry, I'm having control of my mouse. I don't have a mouse pad yet. But we're working on everything. Right, let's continue. New Zealand's beam. There it is. Right here. I've been waiting for this, actually. That'll shove this. That'll very definitively move this square. Define this square. Yeah, she's going to hit Auckland. It's going to hover here. This will come up and stall it. It can't go further. Can't go past that wall of EMF here. See the wall? These beams ain't small. But the main V is always visible. See it? It's been on for quite a few hours. If you look at the timestamps up here at the top of my screen. It's not on then. Alright, there's my first tickle of it's right here at 0500. I'll do my zoom bit. See that tickle down there? You got a ship. It's usually a ship that does that. I'll show you it. Type in Chinese. Spy ship. Suva. Fiji. So Usually it's this. There's a pair of them. See those big blasters it's got on top and them domes? That's a floating EMF blaster, and it's well used. Here's another one. And those particular ships have been seen very regularly in Fiji after big beaming events when they come in to refuel. I've had many people take pictures of these for me. No, we do not want to have that happen to us. I don't know. Return to the previous page. So I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what I was talking about. Well, I'm going to turn that off. I just don't want that happening. Believed to be a spy ship docks. This is, it is. Okay? That's the HMS Adelaide. Frying your storm. Look at that one. Yeah, it's got some big devices on it. They ain't even hiding it, okay? They ain't even hiding it. So, you got a beam, so more than likely the culprit will be a ship at sea. They got some big tech. They can pair two of them together and energize the same area to get a larger effect. So, and they do operate in pairs. How do I know? Because both of them show up in Fiji. People used to send me pictures, but they're too scared to. People are too scared to document their own murder. They'd rather just be murdered. And just what I don't understand about this world. Lots of energizing going on with that storm. Windy says the weather plan. This is where how much water is going to fall in the next 24 hours in some places. Gives me an idea about flash flooding. You know, here's a big area, Mozambique. They're going to cop it. Well, you know, imagine that. There's a lake there that Nestle pumps water from. Sorry if I'm jumping around. It's just how I roll. The main risk for rain actually is here, Florida. Through this area here as they set up for the ice storm. I'll show you. So the next 3 days. Watch this come in. Boom. Your south is buried all within that between day 3 and day 5. So over a 2-day period, and a lot of rain's going to fall through here. A lot of it. Not good at all. This should be actually snow. See? They're setting up here. Charlotte. That whole corridor here where I-85 splits off, goes into Georgia, toward Atlanta. That's going to be a death trap, that road, so stay off. A lot of lightning predicted. So you got this southerly flow, right? You got all this warm, moist air coming up. And it's meeting this cold air that's up here. Like you can tell that if I go over here to temperatures. It shows me where the cold is. When that warm hits that cold, this is a recipe for an ice storm. So I'm going to give you an ice storm warning in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. Radar says this will be current. Right? I finally can show you guys what I look at when I'm at home. Right? Let's see what they got going on. What kind of perturbations? Yeah, very, very heavy cells going over Florida right now. That's a huge concern actually here. I'm going in. Look at the lightning out at sea. Watch out, folks. Some real heavy cells coming in. But they're used to the rains there, I gotta say. A lot of sinkhole action will develop after that, too. Yeah, this is a very deadly line. Wonder if I can get my next rads to load. This is the weather plan. Right? Radar loop. No, it's actually a fairly current image. I'm sorry. It was updated 3 minutes ago. That's some heavy lightning. It's going to get worse as the time goes on. It's going to get worse. Right. So this is theirs. We're going to get a big wind event here, England. See it right here off our coast? This is going to impact us. Storms here as it's pulling that thread across. Sand that came up here, it's going to form a second low right here over the top of CERN when they use their cloud program. Yeah, they got a cloud program that actually can make clouds. And there the rain is in snow and stuff is for the north of the UK, of Scotland. Then this one comes in. Boom! This is the weather plan. Look at the amount of snow and stuff here over the Atlantic. It's going to make a very cold blast when this comes through. Lots of snow up in the mountains here. Will they geo the Ukraine? Absolutely. Weather war will happen against them. And to look for that, I go here. Now this is the current image that's been given to me by NASA. By the NASSholes who love to tell the truth their way. They sure glue some hair to make it look like it stands up. Right, let's have a look. I'll put some borders on so you know where we're going. We're looking here. Ukraine, Crimea, it's all the Black Sea. Excuse me. Right. Turkey. You're copping it. Look at the heavy EMF here, right? Uzbekistan. This is where your geo stuff's coming from. The Balkans. Look at the spray. What's this? The Caspian Sea? I'm not sure exactly where I'm at. Uzbekistan. Well, these countries feel a part of Turkey, you know. Don't let them tell you any different. The people feel different. Look at the heavy EMF down here whipping up some sand. Bzzz, getting fried, getting fried. In Suwada, Haifa, getting fried. Israel, you're getting smacked. Look, square form off your coast. Look at these boom, boom, plume here. Look like a set of titties. Camel hump. It actually does. Anyways, I digress. Cyprus, a disputed area between Greece and Turkey. Well fried at their border region. Mount Olympus. You better be careful. The God's going to show up. I don't think some people are going to be very happy. Adana, where they make really hot and spicy food. If somebody says it's an Adana something, boy, is it hot. Yeah. I had Adana kebab, man. Oh, my God. So they got very spicy food there, and they're very spicy skies. Oh, my God. Look at this. Well, you guys know this spot, don't you? The Straits of Hormuz. And Bandar Abbas. Chem bomb. Chemtrail deployments. Pss, pss. Blatant sickness mix over the Middle East. And that's going to go downwind somewhere. That's going to go in somebody's nose. It's going to settle on fauna that innocent animals don't even have the language enough that we can understand. They would say, how dare you? Evenly spaced plumes of toxins toxifying my planet. This doesn't just happen over one country. The United Nations is doing this. I keep getting asked, who is doing this? The United Nations. All your governances around the world have been taken to really cushy conferences and sold this as a great idea. They're coming along, probably in this direction here, something flew. I'm judging that by the amount of dispersal. Pew, pew, pew. Somebody came along at a line and dispersed something. Yeah, join the Air Force so you can poison the world when you're in between wars. What a bunch of assholes doing this. Chem bomb deployment here and here. It's obvious. Obviousnesses. Let's have a look at Kiev. Alright, let's look what they did to these people here. Gee, that don't look like no war zone all burning up to me. Let's go back a few days here. Does it look like it to you? See any explosions? Alright. Let's go back. Let's go up. Heavy EMF. Heavy EMF to agitate people, make them feel. Because they'll deploy all sorts of weaponry. I'll turn that off. Yeah, I'm looking. Big stripes of chem crap up here. Do you see a burning city? Do you see a bunch of explosions here? I do not. I see a lie being told to sacrifice our children to the altars of oppression again. For the oil. You'll scream for it. The gas prices. You'll scream for whatever they ask for relief. Please, Big Smother, do something. Give me free rides to work in the state bus. We'll take whatever job you say, Big Smother. Yes, I'll stamp license plates in the prison for you. What a bunch of idiots going along with shit. There is no fucking goddamn war going on here. There ain't nothing burning. Big EMF blast over the top. I'm having a look now. To satisfy my own curiosity. Smoke would go above that. Heat would blow a hole in that EMF. I'm telling you that. It would create a convection. No war, no war, no war. You're being lied to, people. I'm already back to March 2nd. Right? Lies. Lies say that this place is burning. You see any smoke going down? Come on, we know what wildfires look like. We know what they did to Warsaw once. Well, don't let yourself be Warsaw. Don't let yourself be ghettoed in. That's what this is all about, making new ghettos. You can go here, you can go here, you can't rebuild here. But I'm going over to New Zealand. So I said I'd have a look. Right, what we got going on here in the Tasman Sea. Lots of EMF. Heavy, heavy EMF. Oh my God, look at Nelson. Something came along over the top of you and just deployed. Boom, 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 both sides. Evenly spaced plumes of something chemical catalyzing in your atmosphere, nucleating these clouds, making clouds over the top of you, brewing up the rain. But oh well, business as usual in Wellington. The houses of oppression there have been going on and enslaving the populations of these islands for far too long. Far too long. You think they won't kill to keep their way in this country? Have you learned nothing of your history, New Zealand? They have, they are, and they will kill you to get what they want in this country. And what do they see you as? A purse string for the Queen of England. Something to be gleaned, a number, a profit, a stake in the business. And you're not the stakeholders, and this is a big mistake. Okay, now I see this epicenter of where one of the quakes is going to happen. Right, this blast on top of this blast here makes this super active, sends a vibration out, and it tends to quake here. Napier, when you get this, that tends to be you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the EMF Fried Microwave Popcorn Show of the North Island. Auckland. Islands over here. Look at this shit here. That's done with microwaves. Inside some kind of a chemical catalyst, and it nucleates that kind of a plasma cloud. So that's energy to create a beam. Look at that. Full arc beam. This runs into that. But in 48 hours, that calms down. 36 hours right there, it starts cooling off. The center of squareness here is femtosecond laser signatures here. Dual vortex with pinch point. That's where it folds. This is push. A flat push. It pushes that way. If I had an arrow, I'd draw it. So this is going over the top. This is coming underneath. Two directions. Look at the pulse wave here. Checkerboard square or Windows symbol. I don't know. This weather brought to you by Bill Gates. As he funded a lot of this geoengineering. If he controls the weather, he knows that his fields of crops will do fine and yours won't. Right? That's business as usual for Bill. When they put a bill up that says you should do this to your world, they need to kill that bill. I can get away with saying that one. Big chem bomb deployment out in the ocean out here. Just plumes. Don't buy these new names of clouds. Hey, if they make this kind of cloud happen, they can name it anything they want. Boogeyman cloud. You know, that look like the boogeyman. And I'm not talking Jimmy Valiant, the wrestler. Look at this EMFs here in this nucleation here. It's a slightly different color, and it's a trapezoid. Right? It ain't a round cloud. There ain't a cloud around that looks round anymore. It's a rare thing. You may see an edge facing you from the ground that look round, but if you look at it from above, it might look different. You might not see this weirdness in the center here with a pulse wave coming out with boom, 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 boom. All coming from an epicenter. Deploying as needed. It's probably one of them strato cruisers. It's just belching. And they've done studies to see how wide a plume goes and all this, and I'll pull all those up at some point. But I said I wanted to do a chem tour. But I can't go too late because I have to get ready for work soon. What in the hell's going on here? Square much? Is this the square dance with Mother Nature? And Mother Nature is going to spit that dancer out of the dance hall. Look at that. Not naturally occurring cloud formations, okay? This is geoengineering. This is what you asked for in the school strikes, believe it or not, because that's what it was used for. This is the Tasmanian devil right here. Yeah, Tassie. I went there. But everybody loves Tassie. I ain't too much in love with the devil's doing this to you guys here in Australia. Look at the guilt here. Frying you with deployments, because you could tell by the heavier look to some of them, but they're still being dispersed in a sea of microwaves. A lot of times I could see the microwaves here. Let me turn that one off. If I go to your sat viewer, I'll get this to load. Pegasus flies, doesn't she? Absolutely flies. That's my nickname for my computer. Because my other one I was calling the old war horse. Boy, did she do her job, and she's not done. She's just semi-retired. I actually look at it on the side. I can actually run it still. Well, yeah, I think we will use these, though. It don't do good online. Right, we were looking at microwaves around here. Wasn't it? Was that the location? No, right above Tassie. When they heat this area, it forms a block, and weather has a tendency to not flow through here. And when you put a block here like this, things will go around. If I make a flow this direction, it'll create a suction, pull it in here. If I do one down this way, it'll pull in that way. And it's a Venturi effect is what it's known as. Well, if this was a tube into a carburetor, it would be the Venturi effect, where you blow air over the top of a surface. Even the one that goes poof poof on an old bottle when you blow in it is kind of the Venturi effect. So let's see if we... So we're right here. But this is live. That image would have been taken earlier and that deployment is gone. So right, what do we got going? Oh, they're flooding y'all here. Right, here's where the danger is. This is coming in this way, and a pulse wave is going that way. See, the two directions? That should only happen in what's known as an occluded front, where you have a high pressure go over the top of a low pressure, or a low pressure go over a high pressure, or one pressure surrounds another and bubbles the other one up to the top. Right, that's it, an occluded front. That's what it's known as. Unless they change the name of it to the clueless front, because they're fronting you and you're clueless about it. I'm sorry about the blurriness, but that is just how clear they make the images now. They've actually blurred them out a bit since those last videos, right? All this is going this direction, but this is sailing in front, backfilling this Starman. Heavy chem deployment here. When it meets this shock wave here, it'll hem that chem up and make it react. It'll probably lift it. No, I'm wrong. If this is colder and this is warmer, this will shove that down under. Boy, will that make some light in here. I'm going to go with a little different app for a minute. Different one. I want to see something. I see a weather event. I don't see it for this coast. I see it for here. See what we can get going on. I gotta watch the time. Workday. Come on, give me the one I want. I want the infrared ZIR. There we go. Cities and coastal. This will tell me the temperatures. I could tell where the high tops are. Yeah, that's a very high top. Yeah, I'm right. Well, Dubbo, you ain't done. But it looks to me that storm should spread like this. The energy from that should walk the rest of that storm up. From what I've seen in the past. Yeah, it's actually... This wall of crap here is annihilating the moisture in this storm as it goes along towards Sydney. So there's not too much of a danger of this breaching the mountain barrier. And the mountain barrier here plays a huge, huge factor in your weather. But you're still getting a chem. Chem over coughs. You'll be coughing there. Taree getting tired down. Port McCreary. What in the fuck are they thinking with allowing this to happen? Yeah, what's that? Charlieville. Roma's got a big radar that'll be influencing this. Yeah, I went there. How can I see that? Somebody might be thinking. I would come over here and hit radar. And I haven't checked yet today, so let me check the space weather. Space weather dashboard. It just gives me a quick view. We had a few minors. Nothing huge. Nothing sustained that would cause a long... No, I won't blame the sun for this. If any of these had hit red, but we did have an uptick. Let's keep this real. What time was that? No, that's minor. That's very minor, and it wasn't a line. It's almost like a Schumann pulse. It'll show up in the Schumann resonance images. Which, no, I won't get into that now. Let's verify it on a second one. When I have a doubt, I look. Right, they're showing the same data. Sometimes they don't. Impact charts. Yellow. 200 cycles. 130 day per cycle. Shouldn't be too bad, and I won't blame them on that. You'd have to be actually facing the sun when the pulse hit to create that cloud. So it couldn't be the whole world. So I'd have to determine at what time that was. So let's see what we got here. Weather radar. I'm coming in for a look. Pulse here in Emerald. See it right there. That's a radar there. Next rad. The potential for tornadic activity with this is low overnight. I'd have to say I'm not seeing hook trails. I'm not seeing convection, so that would surprise me if that happened. There's a big pulse going on here over this radar station. That's the center of a pulse right here. Bzzz. Pinning that storm, keeping that cut, keeping that flow in Queensland and keeping this in here and keeping the energy going. There's another pulse here. Not as well pronounced. Big beaming going on here. Look at that V shape here coming down. Bzzz. Getting fried from here. Fueling your own demise, people. This is your weather radar in action. And it does affect your weather. It affects it big time. right? Affects it big time. So we had to look at that. Go on to the sat viewer. I'm going to turn windy off maybe. Yeah, that's a dangerous storm though. It's still rotating. It's going to cause a lot of dis-ease in people because you just went through a terrible experience and you're hearing thunder in the distance and you're worried. This is also an impossible storm. All this is flow in this direction. Why is this climbing north? Why is there something moving along here and putting something in the atmosphere? This isn't cloud seeding. This is cloud creation from a clear blue sky to getting a storm. That's geoengineering and it's different. I think you guys are going to get some rain, but I don't see anything torrential. You're definitely going to get some rain. There's no doubt about it. So, right, I'm going to zip off here. I've kind of covered your weather a bit. I hope I have enlightened you to one fact and one fact only. This is all of us. This is everything. This is what matters. This is our earth. This is our mother. This is our future. This is our past. This is our present from the universe. And we should treat it thusly. Every bit of life on this world is affected by us when we decide to block the sunlight. That's where the sun would be overhead. When we block the sunlight from these creatures, from our forests, we're doing wrong. When we go in the Congo and do this to the gorillas in the mist, then I think they will be missed greatly. Remember, it only takes one person to change the world. But boy, it's a lot easier if we all do it together. 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 Big love.